The town of Berlin. Country charm at the center of Connecticut.
Hello everyone, welcome to our town council meeting. Call this meeting to order with a pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilor Campanelli?
Here.
Councilor Evans?
Here.
Mayor Kaczynski?
Here.
Councilor Lutty?
Here.
Councilor Pinesta?
Here.
Councilor Rochette? Councilor Rosso?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. First order of business is our audience of citizens. If anyone is here that wishes to speak, now is your time. Yes, sir.
34.
Welcome. If you could come up and just state your name and address, please, for the record. Appreciate it.
Okay, my name is Frank Steele, 88 Town Drive in Berlin. Okay.
Welcome.
I would like to speak on the Berlin Peck Memorial Library from a senior citizen perspective. Okay. I'd like to begin with a statement that we know that reading will slow down the effects of dementia and Alzheimer's for openers. Second of all, as citizens age, their vision becomes difficult and fonts become a big issue. Berlin Peck has large font books. In addition, for senior citizens, they can get electronic books that allow you to alter the size of the font. And if you do not know how to use it, we have a dedicated staff that'll teach any senior citizen or any citizen how to use electronic books and take advantage of that. The next thing is mobility. As we get older, mobility becomes an issue. If we wanted to get a book, for example, that was not available at the Berlin Peck Library because of budgetary concerns, rather than driving to Plainville, Southington, Farmington, wherever, we can get an interlibrary loan. And if we can do it over the internet, or our staff will help us do that, okay? In addition, any book, again, ebook, will allow us to adjust the font to deal with the reading, okay? And last, and most importantly, we're on fixed income. And as we get older and medical issues become a problem, you know, the discretionary income gets smaller and smaller. At Berlin Peck, we can get either on the internet or at the library itself movies, books on tape, and entertainment is readily available. Okay, so what's my point? My point is this. We have a world-class library. We're very fortunate in Berlin to have that. We got a staff that's dedicated and competent, okay? And I feel at this point that because of your budgetary issues, and you have a lot of them, I understand that, but I feel that we're going to look for short-term gains at the cost of a great institution. And I would hate to see that happen. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, sir, just to answer that, so you can stay or sit, whatever you want. But the good thing about the library budget, from what I recall in our budget talks, I don't think we cut some money.
So RFID implementation, the second phase of it.
Right. So not that
Can't
so
implement it yet.
The bottom line is it won't affect any services, day-to-day things.
I hope so, because it is
Yeah.
a great institution.
Yeah. No, we heard that loud and clear. It's at a couple of the budget hearings, and you know, I think we were all impressed to hear the services that Helen is able to provide there at the library. It's fantastic. So yeah, there shouldn't be any real effect to any of their services with the current budget.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Appreciate the input, though. Yes, sir.
John O'Brien, Vineyard Drive. I'm on the Housing Basic Authority, and
I've been looking into a couple of things, and one of them that really sticks out in my mind is 292 Deming Road, Building A. It's a Cape Cod house. Back when this town, and I've lived in this town going on 40 years, back when they moved a mobile home park over to Deming Road, there was a house, they bought the house for the land to put the mobile homes in. At that time, the research that basically I've been getting, that house was pulling $850 a month in rent. About 4 years back, under the other town council, the house has to be torn down because of mold. It's right into the rafters. It's basically at the rate where it's not repairable. It costs too much. To tear the house down, it's going to be $20,000 to $40,000. I'm doing research more and more, but I want to find out who was responsible and who was responsible at that time to let that house go when it's going to cost me as a taxpayer upwards around $40,000 now to tear that house down.
Now, no one lives in it now.
No one lives in it.
Okay.
From what I understand, there was a retired town employee that was renting the house out. And from what I understand, it was $850 a month. It went vacant. And now the fire department uses it.
Well,
You know, but it's so far gone
yeah.
that it has to be torn down. You know, like, I'm a taxpayer. I want to find out who was responsible back then.
Yeah.
Back then, why it's going to cost
Now,
taxpayers money now.
Is it part of the trailer park property?
Yes.
It is.
They
okay.
bought that house, they call it 292A,
Huh.
and then trailer, or mobile homes, we'll call them, start going A, B, C, D. There's
Oh,
16
okay.
mobile homes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But
okay,
that's,
with the mobile.
it's a shame. You know, that
Yeah.
was a perfectly good home. I talked to the prior mayor
Right.
about it. I started out with the mayor and the town hall and other people I've been talking to. And
Well,
now it's at the
Jack.
point where it's gonna cost us.
Jack will, we can check into it and see what the story is with it. Because you know you're on the housing authority, and I actually think you're for reappointment tonight, but I think the proposal is we have the housing authority take over that.
Why should we take a liability over for bad?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, that's.
For bad management.
That's true, that's true. Okay, we'll look
Thank
into
you.
that. Yeah, thanks, John, we'll look into that. Okay, anyone else wishes to speak? Seeing no one, I will close that part of our meeting, and we'll go to our consent agenda. We have, I assume everyone has reviewed their items on the consent agenda, so we'll take a motion.
Sure, I'll make a motion to accept the 5 items on the consent agenda as written before us.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing, nobody opposed, motion carries. Okay, topic 1.
Topic 1, first thing on is for the council to adopt an ordinance in the amount of $1.8 million to fund the police radio system improvements. And when you do go through that, please utilize the language that's supplied by the bond council as it's written.
Okay, yes, I see that. So,
John Klett is here.
yes, we'll make a motion. So is there a motion and a second that the police radio bond ordinance be adopted? Obviously, we had our public hearing at the last meeting, so we closed that public hearing. Now we're voting on the motion.
Okay. Move to adopt an ordinance appropriating $1.8 million for the police radio system improvements and authorizing the issue of $1.8 million of bonds of the town to meet said appropriation, and pending this issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
Okay, do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, I guess we'll call the roll call vote on that.
You can just all vote.
We can all vote, okay? Yes.
This is, it's for the police radios.
Correct.
So I know that there was some discussion previously about the police radios, in that we were gonna do this now, and then possibly later there was some talk about redoing the police station, and then if that did happen, this would have to be moved, or it wasn't gonna be functional at the new place. Do we have any information about that?
We can ask Deputy Chief Klett. I think from what I remember, but John, come up, you can explain it better than I, that I mean, this has to be done no matter what, but I'm sure it could be integrated into a new communication center.
Yeah, correct. The equipment is all over town. The only piece that was, we were talking about, what you're referring to, was the actual dispatch console, and most of that can be reused if we were to build something down the road. But right now, the equipment is failing because it's 34 years old. So, but most of the, at least a good portion of the furniture and a lot of the components of the console could be reused in the new building.
Okay. Do we know how much the portion costs that can't be reused?
I would, not off the top of my head, but I mean, I would say 90% of it is a pretty good estimate.
Okay.
The problem is that you have to have both systems up at the same time. So
Right.
you can't take that down and move it without the radio system up, at least temporarily. But I think based on what we've gotten for quotes, it can mostly be used. In fact, the furniture, assuming that it's not too long down the road, could be reused as well.
Okay, all right, that's good, thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks. Thanks, John. Okay, any further discussion?
I mean, you know, I'm still not thrilled that we're spending money that even some of it is gonna be wasted. I think that police station should have gone to the people for a vote.
Yeah.
But since it didn't, we're now here, and we've got a public safety issue that we need to handle, so,
This issue had to be handled no matter what happened.
yep,
We need-
that's right, that's what I'm saying.
So it
We
doesn't
have a
matter
public
whether
safety
we had a
issue,
new
yeah.
police station or not. We had
Well,
to
if
do
we
the radio system.
We wouldn't be wasting a portion of this money on a radio station that's going in the old police station, it would just be going in the new one.
Maybe the new one will be where the old one is. We don't know that.
All I'm saying, Mark, is that
Right.
if we are doing this now and there's any portion of it that can't be used in the future, and I think we just heard that there might be some of it, then that's wasted money.
Well, I don't think we could have afforded $16 million in bond money at this point, as we know how our budget is.
We could have
But that's-
seen what the public said.
That's your opinion. They already voted on it, as I recall.
They voted on a different project that was presented to us at a different time.
We couldn't send it to referendum. We just had a vote on it. That wasn't our job to send it to referendum, as I
I offered
recall.
to take out a petition and work with you guys to get it signed. As we all know, it's not that difficult.
The vote was taken, and I thought it was the most, I think those of us that voted on it thought it was the most fiscally responsible thing to do at the time.
I'm glad that you thought so.
The majority of the
We have
council
a
thought so, not
differing
me
opinion.
personally.
Yes,
No, I
and
understand that.
you're the one that's arguing with me right now, so you're the one I'm talking to.
Yeah,
right now
no,
about it.
well, I'm just answering some questions that you have on it.
None of these are questions, these
Mayor?
are statements.
Yes.
The questions I asked Deputy Chief Collette. And I'm all
Yes.
set on the questions, so I made a statement. Moving on.
Okay, and I made my statement, yes.
Great.
I just would like to keep this discussion to the radio system that we need and vote on this before it fails.
Right. Well, we're gonna-
Absolutely.
We're going to vote right now.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Any more discussion?
Good.
Yes.
So, you know, without specifics on what components are going to have to be moved over, it seems to be more setting it up and, you know, the logistics of a new station or a new renovation of a station would accommodate the existing equipment. There would be some cost associated with it. You know, so I don't think it's maybe as significant with respect to the mayor's comment with respect to the bonding. The timing of it is not good. I mean, we continue to go up in the costs associated with bonding. As that peaks and goes down, I think we'll be in a better position to bond and put it in a, you know, police station that would be needed at the time that we can afford it and take care of it. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I would declare the ordinance adopted. Thank you, everyone. Number two.
Agenda item number 2 is to adopt an ordinance appropriating $4 million for town of Berlin road improvements. We have a road program that we're trying to maintain the roads at approximately about 5 to 5.5 miles per year. That way, we turn the roads over about every 20 years. So, the $4 million would be for 2 years worth of road improvements.
Okay, thank you. So we need a motion and a second on the road improvement bond ordinance to be
Okay.
adopted.
Move to adopt an ordinance appropriating $4 million for the Town of Berlin Road Improvement Program of 2017 and authorize the issue of $4 million of bonds to the town to meet said appropriation, and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purposes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Any discussion on roads? Yes?
Yeah, just a comment. Appreciate the efforts of Mr. Healy and in his public works role, as well as now in a temporary town manager. We're just looking back on some history, asked for a little information on that. And in 2012, we did about 2.9 miles. 2013, 3.9 miles. 2014, 5.5 miles. 2015, 3.1 miles, and 2016, 4.5 miles. So, doing that, anticipating 5 miles in the next, each year coming forward. I think I can continue a trend of improving our roads and a little bit more than what we have in the past. So, appreciate the information, and I think it's important we continue to renovate or to improve the roads and look at our, longer out plan. Mr. Healy is presenting towards a longer range term plan, 10 years and plus, on taking care of that. In fact, I think he talked about 20 years, if he wanted to have any comments about the 20 years out, but I appreciate the insight and the direction that's being taken there. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, great, thanks. Any other comments on the roads?
Yeah, I do. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Jack, the road list is out on the website, right? It is. There was a slideshow in 2011 that had the last plan. Is there going to be an updated one that people can see in the future going forward? I don't know if you want to go that far, but there was a nice presentation there about how to fix the roads. And
The plan was, in fact, we're using that as a basis.
Okay.
You pay a consultant to provide this plan, and we have staff members who can go out and evaluate the roads. So what we've actually done is we've taken, and there's several different guidance manuals that you can use. One's called PACER, another one's Public Road Accreditation Process Worksheets from APWA. And the thought was, instead of putting the money into consultants, having them do the plan, that Brian Griswold, Jim Horrible, and the staff could do that work and identify the roads and prioritize them. Also playing a role into this is the number of calls we get from individuals. Someone calls and has a complaint about a road. We go out and we look at it and see how it fits into, if you try to score it based on the amount of use it has, the condition of the road and the base and things, we try to score it and then we fit it into the plan. And we're trying to do about 5.5 miles of roads because we have 110 miles of roads. If you turn them over every 20 years, what you should be doing, then that comes out to about 5.5 miles of road for 20 years. So that's what we're trying to do. And our feeling was, instead of paying for a consultant to do that, we felt that we should do that in-house.
okay. Thank you.
Great. Anything else? No. All right, so motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I declare the ordinance adopted. Thank you. Number 3.
The item number 3 is to award a bid number 2017-21 to Smith Edwards McCoy Architects of Hartford, in an amount not to exceed $20,000 to do the preliminary plans for the Worthington Meeting House. This would allow them to go forth and look for grants to continue the work there and to renovate and rejuvenate that building. Both Doug Solik and Richard Price are here. They sat in on the interviews, and I felt that it was important that they should come to the meeting if you had any questions about the interviewing process and how they came to selecting those architects.
Okay, let's make a motion and we can
Move to award bid number 2017-21 to Smith Edwards McCoy Architects of Hartford for an amount not to exceed $20,000 to be taken from the Worthington Meeting House account, and to prepare the schematic plans for the final design and construction of the Worthington Meeting House building renovations.
second on that.
Second.
Discussion. Questions? Discussion?
Mayor, just want to make a comment. Appreciate the continued effort to work through there, even finding a grant to assist in this. I know we had some, Silva Petrocelli did some initial plans on it, and they fell short of what we needed for them to get grants and further construction. So as was mentioned, I think the motion really indicates it most succinctly when it indicates to prepare schematic plans for final design and construction. So I think this is well spent, and appreciative of the efforts I'll mention specifically Lorraine Stubbs and her efforts in this. There's many others that she reaches out to, and I'm sure I'm going to miss names, so I'm just going to stop there, and she could certainly point to many folks that helped and assisted her in this. But as the subcommittee chair on the council, this is just near and dear to my heart, and I'm looking forward to the results of this.
Okay, great. Thank
I
you.
just have a question for Mr.
Yes.
Evans.
Yep.
Maybe, how long did we had this grant money sitting here for a while, so there was a time frame to use it?
There was some existing funds there. I'm not sure about how long the grant was fairly new.
Was it new? Okay.
The grants
I
are
couldn't
paying the last 2 years. The way this is set up to be funded is there's $35,000 that the town has in money in the accounts here. The $20,000 in grants that will be received by the Historic Society. They will take and turn that money over to the town as a donation. So at some point, they will come forth to the council. You'll need to accept that money, and we'll replenish the account that's identified in the motion.
So it's and they'll be able to utilize that in going forward to construction and any other insight that needs to take place to raise funds and so forth.
Great, thank you.
It's a good question. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Agenda item number 4 is for an application of the Historic Documents Preservation Grant. We're asking you to make a resolution to name Kate Wall, the town clerk, and empower her to execute and deliver on a grant to the town of Berlin. There's $1 that is retained by the town clerk for recording, management, and preservation of their records. The other $2 is sent to the state. The state then issues money back to the town in form of target grants. So this action is to make a resolution to identify Kate Wall as the individual to execute and deliver on the grants.
Okay, thank you. Motion on this?
Okay, resolved that Kate Wall, the town clerk, is empowered to execute and deliver in the name on the behalf of the town of Berlin a contract in the amount of $4,000 with the Connecticut State Library for a historic documents preservation grant in fiscal year 2018. Upon receipt of the grant, funds are to be deposited into the special grant fund account.
Second on that?
Second.
Any questions? Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Agenda item number 5 is to re-adopt the Fair Housing Resolution, Fair Housing Policy Statement, Affirmative Action Policy Statement, and identify compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The town received a Small Cities Community Development Block Grant in 2012, and the Department of Economic and Community Development Program requirements that the community actively show evidence of commitment to these programs.
Thanks. Motion on that?
Sure. Move to re-adopt the Fair Housing Resolution, the Fair Housing Policy Statement, the Affirmative Action Policy Statement with compliance of the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 statement.
Okay, second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? Questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you. Number 6.
Item number 6 is to have a budget transfer from the contingency account to the golf course tent account. There's $9,100. We're requesting that $9,100 from the contingency account be transferred to the tent roof account. The purpose of this is in next year's budget, $9,100 was identified for getting a new tent. If we put up the old tent, it cost about $1,500 put up, $1,500 take it down, $1,500 put the new one up, $1,500 take the new one down. So in order to save $3,000, we felt we would request that we take money from the contingency and only put the tent up once. And John Zook is here to answer any questions on that.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good. Okay, let's take a motion, and then we'll see if we got some questions for you.
Move to approve a budget transfer in the amount of $9,100 from the contingency account into the tent account for the purchase of a new canvas roof, as this is in the best interest of the town.
Second on that?
Second.
All right, discussion. So, go. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Basically, as
Jack had alluded to, if we do put up the tent, we have our first event, I think, is the Berlin Baseball Tournament, which is May 7th, I believe. So we would have to put the tent up around probably the middle of April, late April. I would be concerned that the tent, the condition it's in, that potentially would not make it through the entire season, especially with some of the thunderstorms we have in July and August with heavy winds. So we would end up taking it down, the old canvas, and we received a new one in July. If we go through the capital procedure, put the new one up, and then have to take it down again in the fall. So we're looking to save anywhere between $2,400 and $3,000 in labor costs without taking it down and putting it back up again.
Yeah. How long did we get out of the other one?
This would be going up for its 10th season.
Oh, wow.
So that's $900 a year. It's
Yeah.
not bad.
And this is coming out of the budget then for next year and going into contingency.
That's correct.
so-
That's one thing I didn't mention. It would come out of our capital, the golf course capital for 2017, 18. So it
Excellent.
would be removed out of the capital account.
Very good with that.
Anything else, guys? Questions, concerns? No? All right, good. Okay, motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. We have a couple appointments. We have someone that wishes to be appointed to the Historic Commission. I think that's right. Alternate. I guess we have a couple alternate slots left.
And Mayor,
Yes.
he's a Republican, okay, just so that you know.
Okay, I
what's
didn't
on
see.
it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that
So, and that's
fine?
fine. Yep, there's no problem with that.
Okay.
All right,
so,
thank you, Councilor Evans.
thanks. Okay, so do we have a nomination?
Okay, I'll nominate Richard Bennett from Worthington Ridge for the Historic District Commission alternate spot.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations? Hearing none, close the nominations. All those in favor, Richard Bennett?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Welcome, Richard Bennett. Dave will be happy. He has another historic district member.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we have a appointment to the Housing Authority. I think you were on it temporarily. Mr. O'Brien was on it temporarily, so now that would become a reappointment of that. Is that slot on here?
Number 8.
Yep.
Right, where's it? Oh, I see right there.
So-
Oh, okay, okay.
Anybody
Yeah,
else?
okay.
I'd
All
like-
right, so we have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate John O'Brien.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other nominations?
Anybody else?
Hearing none, I will close the nominations. All those in favor of John O'Brien?
Careful.
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Welcome back to the Housing Authority. Okay.
Chinese syndrome.
So, where are we at here? We're at,
Minutes.
wow, it's 7:30. That's not right. That's not right.
Mark, you're doing really well today. Keep it
No,
going.
we're
Come on.
Ruin it.
We're gonna stretch it out. Don't ruin
Like,
it. I'll try not to
please.
ruin it.
Don't
Okay.
ruin it, man.
Town manager's report.
I try to keep you up to date with some of the things, different things that we're doing in town. In an effort to try to reduce the cost of running the sewer system, we are looking to eliminate the Savage Hill Pump Station. We're able to take that, if we can go through a person's private property, we can tie into by gravity into the sewer system that's in Pistol Creek. We've worked it out with the homeowner that we're going to bore, not dig up the lawn, we're going to actually bore under the property and connect the two pipes. The bids have come in, they're a little bit above our original estimate, so we're going to go to the Water Commission and ask them for additional funds and then complete that project. But we were concerned about the individual's property because there are some very large historic trees. We're going to be able to bore under those and not have any effect on the trees. The grant project for the economic development for the sidewalk connecting different parts of the town is out to bid, and we're expecting results back in the end of April. We also received the High Bridge Road bridge bid, and so we are now working through the contracts with DOT on that. The low bidder was Martin Lavero Company. The Farmington Avenue Bridge, I try to keep you up to date on that because I'm sure you got a few questions on it. We had a meeting today. We're continuing to remove the contaminated soil. They are working on putting the piles in. And so that is proceeding. The anticipated end date now is August, so that is later than originally anticipated. They are requesting an extension currently from the town and DOT, and we are looking at the implications of allowing them to have that extension.
How long have we been working on that bridge?
Oh, that bridge has been going on for almost, we issued that contract probably August, September last year. So it's going to be a full year. Normally, you have a nine-month construction cycle, so they're definitely going beyond. Typically, we like to schedule these projects so you start April 1st and you're done by end of October, early November, so you don't go through a winter season. So that it adds to the project when you do that. I saw some articles written about the dam. We did meet with DEEP. In the last week, interesting conversation. They are very interested in this project. With the dam staying, he actually gave us some information on putting in a fish ladder that would go up the front of the dam. We've looked at the property. There's enough property there. We could make it into there would be a footpath to the fish ladder. You could use it as an educational tool. It has a glass top. They would stock the dam above the dam with alewives, and in the center of the alewives being in the upper part of the dam would draw the fish up to that, and that's the total extent. That's as far as the DEP feels that the fish need to go, because the paper goods dam actually is built on a waterfall, and the fish never went any further. So this would make it to the headwaters as far as DEP fisheries would like to see this go. So we're looking at that. We're also looking at getting a grant that would allow us to reline the pipes on Kensington Road. So we're putting these two projects together. The tennis courts, we're waiting for weather so we can paint the lines on the tennis courts. The snow's off, now we just need to stop raining. So we're anticipating painting the lines, and the tennis team, first match is April 18th. We're keep your fingers crossed, because next week's supposed to be warm enough we can paint those lines.
Awesome.
The streetscape, the punch list work started yesterday, and I'm working with a contractor. I talked with him today. I'm sure if you've driven over that, you know that we have to replace that crosswalk at his expense, not the town's. They are proposing to do that work at night so there'd be no impact on the businesses. We've talked to them about that. We are working on posting Adam's position so that we can keep the purchasing process going. And the last thing I want to make you aware of, we did file on time the town's MS4 stormwater permit and plan. It's with DEP. We filed that on time, and we will have to start implementing the requirements over the next year.
Okay, great. Just a question on the Main Street there. This winter, I know we didn't have a ton of snow, but we did have that one big storm. Was it a huge hassle with this snow? I mean, I know we always have trouble there anyway, but was it any worse than we would have anticipated?
The actual storm wasn't as bad. I mean, it wasn't that much worse. The issue is after the storm. It's more difficult to remove the snow. I think I told you we're looking at benchmarking some of our results from the winter. One of the things that keeps coming up is that the snow we didn't remove the snow. The shop owners feel that the snow impacted their businesses. We need to get the snow out of there faster. But also, as we discussed in the fall, we are looking to redesign and modify that design there this summer. So we have met with the shop owners a couple of times, trying to get their input on what they see. And two of one of them, they are concerned about the large the islands that are along the sidewalks. They're concerned that they lost some parking spaces, and they would like to get those back. So we're looking at how we can do that.
Do we know how many spaces they lost?
When I took an aerial, I went back and found a historic aerial photograph. It looked like we lost 4 spots.
4.
But 4 spots.
Yeah, there's not a lot there anyway.
But yeah, there's not a lot.
Yeah.
And to those shop owners, particularly on the, like I would say on the north side of the street, they feel the impact at the barber shop and where the coffee shop's supposed to be.
Is that where the spots were lost?
Yeah, we lost them most on that side.
Because it seems like by the bank there's more, because we went. Right, because we're pulling.
We changed them, but no, there's a net loss of about 4 spots.
There's still a net loss, yeah.
Again, I went back, looked at historic photographs.
Yeah. All right. Interesting, yeah.
Jack, back when I had hair, we
You and me?
voted on gateway signs. Do you know what's happening with those?
The gateway signs have been constructed. They're stored right now in the basement of Pistol Creek, and we're working out the logistics on how to get those installed.
Okay, great.
But they are here. They're Pistol Creek.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Mr. Healy, no? All right, so, special committee reports. What do we have? Any special?
Budget.
Dave?
Mayor.
Yeah, budget, we know budget.
Tomorrow, we get to see each other again, 6:30, right here. If you would, if there's any particular feelings or thoughts you had, you don't necessarily need to do it right now, but if you want to talk to me or shoot me a note or call me on anything particular, we'll give Mr. Delaney a little bit of time to work some numbers, but any insight for tomorrow's meeting, but we can certainly talk about it tomorrow at 6:30 too. But appreciate everyone's attendance to that, and that's what's coming up.
So on that note, just so you guys, everyone's aware, Dave and I, budget chair, met with. I know, we'll talk about this tomorrow night, but just so you know, I want you guys to make sure you hear it first. Everybody hears it here that we met with the superintendent and Matt Tenza and Jeff Kugno last night, and it was very productive. I think I know there's an amount that I think we're sort of talking about with them that if the council agrees, I think we could find that amount to plus up their increase some more. They seemed pretty agreeable to that it would help them immensely. Right, Dave, from what we got onto that. So, and I think we have a way to pay for it with some surplus money that came back from energy grant.
reimbursements.
Energy reimbursements. Okay. So, it's good. I think it's positive. So, we'll discuss all that, and they still have to have. I think they have a. So that's just obviously the amount. As far as programs and different things, we talked about a lot of that. It was very productive, and like I say, they obviously have their work still cut out for them. But I think from what I got from them, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, that it was much more positive, and I think it will be a much more positive result for the town and the school system from what I got from them. So we'll see how that goes. And I also wanted to ask you guys, just while we're talking about the budget, might as well just get it all. I wanted to have, and I asked the Board of Ed this too, and they were all for it. One more meeting once we, if we could finalize everything tomorrow night. We know we have our
Referendum vote.
Our vote on a referendum on April 25th. So I'd like that week before, if anybody wants to come, April 19th. If you guys want to check your schedule, we can talk about it tomorrow night too, but I'll just throw that out there so you get some time to think about it. So the 19th, we have a town council meeting the 18th, so the 19th, we could probably just do it here, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock, whatever, and it would be with the Board of Ed. I wanted them with us, with whatever. Hopefully we go forward with the budget tomorrow night, and townspeople can get one more shot at it, and we can explain it briefly, not as, we'll go into as much detail as people want, but just to make sure that the public has another, and we'll get some stuff out in the paper too, about what it is, obviously, for the voters, just to give them another shot at a public meeting and, public discussion and at least some information out there before they actually go to referendum. So what do you guys think? Does that make sense? I mean, I know I don't want to take another, we've taken many, many nights, I know, but I think it's important enough with the changes probably, and then to have the Board of Ed with us.
What day is the vote?
The 25th, right? So yeah. Tuesday, the 25th. So the 19th would be we have a council meeting the 18th, so that Wednesday. We'll do it here.
I may not be able to do the 19th, but I'll figure it out.
Okay. I'm just trying to make it as convenient. I want it before that. Before that, I mean, we could pick another day if you wanted to do Thursday. That's fine with me too. But whatever you want. We can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah,
too.
let's.
But, yeah.
Give me
okay.
a chance to see if I can move things around.
Yeah, no problem.
The 20th isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So no problem. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking, and we'll have some good discussion tomorrow night about the budget. So I think it's headed in a pretty positive direction with the Board of Ed. So that's good. Okay. Any other committees? No, I think we've had enough with the budget committees and all the other stuff. Counselor communications. So what do we got? Any communications? What do we have? Everybody is happy? Well, you're all happy. You're happy. You're thrilled that we're going to very enthusiastic, and you're thrilled that we're going to be done early, probably. I bet, huh? Unless we just keep talking all night now. We've talked enough. Okay, so no council communications. Let's work on our acceptance of minutes. We have a lot of them. So we have the March 21st town council meeting. Do we have a motion on that?
Motion to accept the March 21st, 2017 town council meeting minutes.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have the March.
Read these all separate, right?
Yeah, we'll do them all
Because not
separate, just in
everybody
case
was here.
somebody, you have some people
Okay.
missed a couple of them.
Motion to accept the budget meeting, March 1st, 2017 minutes.
Second on that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Go, second.
Motion to accept the budget meeting from March 2nd, 2017.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to accept the budget meeting minutes from March 8th, 2017.
Second on that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Thank you.
I missed that one and then
Okay, thanks.
just abstain from both.
Oh, you're there for, oh, all
Was
right,
I, was I there for the 8th?
Yeah,
Was-
the 8th, yeah, you arrived and you exited.
Yeah, I'm gonna
early.
abstain from that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, there was another one that I left
Okay,
too,
all right.
or arrived late, so I'm going to abstain from that as well.
Okay. Thank you. So,
Okay, motion to accept the budget meeting minutes from March 9th, 2017.
second on that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Abstain.
you. Thank you, Kristen.
Motion to accept the budget meeting minutes from March 15th, 2017.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain from that one too, because I was
Late.
late for that one,
Okay.
Oh, all right, okay.
because I missed some of it.
Gotcha.
Last
Okay.
one, motion to accept the budget meeting minutes from March 16th, 2017.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain from that one too.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. Okay, that's accepts the minutes. Motion to adjourn?
Move
Did you
to
wanna stay
adjourn,
longer?
Mayor.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.